Hey guys, this is Steve, and welcome once again to Classified Captures. Now, have we got an episode for you? Okay, we got Lady Gaga. I love Lady Gaga, she's fantastic. But this, a little bit of a weird video, bloody bird costumes and stuff, and people are starting to wonder if this is some kind of like elitist sign or something. So let's just take a look and... Look, Lady Gaga has not exactly been known for dressing down. She's worn meat costumes and all sorts of strange things. I personally think this is just Lady Gaga being Lady Gaga. Myself, I don't see any kind of like elitist sign or something. There are comments here of people saying that Hollywood elites and Democratic parties worship Satan and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm quite sure a few of them do. We're hearing all sorts of stories of like alleged cannibal eating children and babies and all sorts of stuff. And in the world today, at any time, I wouldn't be surprised. Nothing shocks me anymore. But personally, I don't think this has got anything to do with that. But what do you think? Now we got a guy in a bath who sees something on his ceiling coming out of a fan or extractor fan or something or other. He thinks it's a giant spider. Now, I personally really hope this isn't, because I'm not that much of a spider kind of guy, if you get my meaning. The little tiny things, I don't care about them, but those big, oh geez, just talking about it creeps the hell out of me. Oh God. What the hell?
This looks to me like some sort of bird walking up there. It's not uncommon for birds to use open vents like these as nests in some occasions. And this right here.
I don't even think that's one bird. I think that's two birds, and their little tails, as they're scrambling around, the little tails are coming through the vents. That's what it looks like to me. But once again, why, oh why, in today's society when we have phones that can do all sorts of amazing things, do we get grainy footage and we can't really see very clearly as to what it is? Hell, with my phone, I could have focused right on that grate. Easily taken a clearer image than what this is. So, is this guy trying to hide something? A homeowner recently reviewed their security footage and noticed something they couldn't explain. The camera shows their backyard late at night. Everything is still, the compound is quiet, and the woods beyond are barely visible in the dark. Then suddenly, something appears. A flaming ball of fire emerges from the trees. It doesn't flicker randomly, it moves with direction. It crosses the yard, passes over the fence, and headed straight toward the house. As it travels, the flames cast a clear reflection on the ground below, confirming that something physical was truly there. Many viewers were quick to question whether the footage was edited or generated, but the light interacts naturally with the environment. The reflection matches its movement, the illumination is consistent. Some believe it could be a sentient entity. In various cultures, legends speak of fire spirits that appear without warning. Sometimes they're seen as omens, sometimes as guardians, and sometimes as something far less understood. Others suggest a man-made explanation, a drone equipped with lighting or a carefully staged prank using flammable materials. But according to the homeowner, the footage is completely unfiltered. No one inside the house heard anything. No sound, no disturbance, just the silent movement of fire passing through the night. If you saw this approaching your home, would you assume it had a simple explanation or something far more difficult to explain? Okay, now we got something that's kind of sad, kind of sacred, and kind of touching all at the same time. If this is obviously a true video, we got the passing of someone called Michelle, and strange things are starting to happen.
Michelle unfortunately lost the battle. The family with broken hearts gathered together to mourn her memories, when suddenly, as they're recording a balloon next to her memorial, something shocking happens. Inexplicably, her brother jumps forward and looks behind him in a scared expression. According to her brother, someone or something had touched him.
I have had personal experience with this happening. We had a friend of mine whose father passed away. And she went to open the door of the kitchen, which was not locked. 2 minutes beforehand, she'd gone through this particular doorway specifically because the larder and fridge and everything were all there to get stuff out. And she couldn't move the door. It was completely frozen, totally and utterly tight. No matter what she tried to do, she couldn't open this door. And when she went away, the door suddenly opened really fast, slammed against the other side of the door, and the glass shattered. And ever since then, she's always felt and smelt the same kind of sense that a father had, and kind of feels his presence around. It's almost like he was going, no, I ain't leaving, I ain't going. Yeah, I think this one could very well be real. What do you think? For weeks, a homeowner was dealing with something he couldn't explain. Every night, he heard it clearly, the sound of children outside his house, laughter, running and playing. At first, he assumed it was neighborhood kids sneaking onto his property after dark. It made sense, children looking for a place to stay where no one would stop them. So he installed security cameras determined to catch whoever it was. But when he reviewed the footage, what he saw raised far more questions than answers. The video shows 4 small figures running through his yard in the middle of the night. They look like little girls dressed in what appear to be robes or old-fashioned clothing. They chase each other, laughing, moving exactly like children playing a game. But then something happens. They begin to fade, not all at once, but one by one. One moment they're clearly visible, and the next one flickers and disappears, only to reappear a few feet away, still running as if nothing happened. Their movement continues uninterrupted, as though they exist between being seen and unseen. Some believe this could be a residual haunting, that is, the idea that movements from the past can somehow replay in the present, tied to a specific place. Children who once lived there forever repeating that same night. Whatever the explanation, the cameras captured something. The big question is, what? Now we got something that looks like a shapeshifter in the form of this lady's daughter.
What? Nina, what are you doing?
I'm jumping.
How did you get up there? No, baby.
That didn't look like her daughter when it was up the top. Or did it? Am I just seeing things, or did it look like it was transitioning as it fell from the bed? How does the kid climb up there in the first place? That's a little bit weird. Something slightly strange going on there for definite. There's no ladder, there's nothing that the child could grab hold of. Either this is a shapeshifter, or this child is gonna be a pole vaulter when it grows up, or one incredible rock climber.
What? Nina, what are you doing?
I'm jumping.
How did you get up there? No, baby.
Okay, now we got a guy who looks like he experiences some kind of violent encounter with an unknown entity. A bicycle that's just doing its own thing. I mean, that's very well set up, isn't it? That's really, really well set up, but there's no way that that's real. They kind of got it wrong in two ways. First, because the bicycle thing started to make it look a little bit convincing, and maybe this was real. But when the door opened and he goes to the other side, first you can see that he jumps. You can see it clearly that he jumps backwards. Nothing's pushed him. That's a clear jump. And second, the little ghosty, kind of like girly thing that comes out, man, that looks too fake. That looks too fake by half. So I'm calling this out as fake. But you tell me what you think. Governments and high-level corporations have long invested in technologies that sound like, well, science fiction. Teleportation, time travel, propulsion systems far beyond anything the public has seen. Most of it remains classified, hidden behind layers of secrecy. But one man stepped forward with a story that shocked many. His name is Andrew Basiago. He claims he was part of a secret Cold War program known as Project Pegasus, where children were recruited and used in time travel experiments. According to him, he was sent back to the year 1863 to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, during Abraham Lincoln's famous address. There's even a photograph from that day, a grainy image showing a young boy standing in the crowd. Basiago insists that that boy is him. He also claims he was sent forward in time. What he says he witnessed was not hopeful. He describes an America in ruins, destruction, collapse, a future few would want to see. Skeptics dismissed his story as a fabrication or delusion, but he's not the only one. Over the years, others have come forward with similar accounts, claiming intelligence agencies possess technologies far beyond public knowledge. With the passing year, more alleged documents surface, more whistleblowers speak. It raises a chilling possibility. Are these stories fragments of a hidden truth or echoes of fear and imagination born from one of the most secretive periods in modern history? If you look closely at this cat's eye, you'll notice something disturbing. A thin, spider-like shape stretched across the pupil. It looks alive, like a parasite attached to the surface, but it isn't. This is a rare and harmless eye variation seen in some Burmese cats. It forms naturally during development. Pigmentation creates thin web-like lines across the iris and pupil, giving the illusion of something foreign inside the eye. The cat feels no pain, its vision remains normal. Some consider it a genetic anomaly, others see it as a reminder that biology doesn't always follow similar patterns. Sometimes nature creates shapes that are far more unsettling than they really are. I almost don't want to watch this next one because I have a real freaky thing with eyes. Like people poking eyes and doing anything with eyes. It's like, oh, God, I don't want to watch this. Jesus. It's making my eyes water.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not. Yeah, go away. Not watching that again. LASIK, apparently this is called. You know what? You'd have to knock me the out for anybody to stick anything like that in my eyes. This woman is clearly awake. I guess they put some kind of local anesthetic around the area or something to numb it. But yeah, jeez, man. A congressman in the United States has made a statement that is raising serious attention. He claims extraterrestrial beings may be stationed in underwater bases off the U.S. coast. According to him, a high-ranking admiral in the United States Navy has personally seen evidence. At the same time, the government has grown increasingly unclear about unidentified aerial phenomenon. They've released footage, they've confirmed encounters, they've offered no definitive explanations. Now officials are speaking openly about ideas that we once dismissed as a conspiracy. Some believe alien technology has already been recovered and reverse engineered, that some advanced craft in our skies has not been alien but human-made, built from knowledge we were never supposed to have. Others believe these claims serve another purpose, a distraction or preparation, a slow introduction to something the public cannot be shielded from forever. So why now? Why speak openly after decades of silence? Are we being prepared for a revelation, or are the secrets simply becoming impossible to contain? A man had just installed a CCTV camera in his room. He left it charging and went out to a club for the night. While he was there, he received a notification. The app showed that someone was inside his room. And when he opened the feed, he saw a figure standing in the corner, broad shoulders, dark hair, completely still. He froze. He checked the feed again and again, but the figure was gone. When he finally returned home, the door was locked. Nothing was disturbed, no sign of forced entry. The only evidence was the image captured by the camera. This happened in the United Kingdom, where many buildings are centuries old, places layered with long histories and generations of occupants. Some believe locations like these hold more than memories. Others believe there's a simpler explanation. Cheap security cameras can produce false positives, light distortions, compression errors, or shadows can form shapes that look human. But the man insists it was not staged. He saw the alert, he saw the figure, and he still cannot explain it. So what was standing in his room? Now we got the lizard man thing happening all over again. And we got an uploader here who believes that celebrities and famous people never die. I love the fact they got Ellen DeGeneres next to some, Ellen DeGenerate. It probably should be her name these days. But next to some guy. Okay. And I'm sorry, but a lot of these people, they look similar. Just similar. They don't look alike. Give me a break. The closest one, from what I can see, is the one with Jimmy Kimmel. Is he one of those late night show host guys? A really annoying guy. That was pretty damn close, but that's about as close as that I could say. The rest of them, you could walk down a street and see someone that looks a little bit like you. When I was young, I looked a little bit like Stallone. A little bit. I used to walk around everywhere, but I used to be a big old unit as well. Hey, yo, agent, how you doing? Hey. But I can't even do that properly anymore. Hey, yo, Adrian, how you doing? That's a bit better. On to the next one. We got Dobby entering or leaving a house in the middle of the night. That's cute. He looks drunk. Dobby's been out in the piss, man. Dobby's had too many beers. He's had too many Coors Lights and decided that he's trying to find a place to stay. Like, where am I gonna go? Yeah, I don't think this is real. Now we got a siren sighting.
We got another one over here? What are those? Something's swimming fast underneath that water. Something's swimming real fast underneath that water. I hear him.
I'm sorry, but that guy's face is the funniest thing in the whole video.
What is that noise?
Genius.
Where are you?
I could watch this video specifically for that guy.
This is crazy. I heard it. I heard it. I hear it.
I mean, everything's got to come from somewhere, right? You know, where do all these stories come from? They all have to have an origin somewhere. That's the way I see it. So, could they be real? Could they not be real? Could they be interdimensional? I don't know. What do you think? This photo has been circulating online. It shows a newborn baby with hair that seems impossible. Not just a full head of hair, but strands reaching 8 or 12 inches in length, long enough to look like it's been growing for months before birth. There is an AI-generated footage showing similar cases, which has made people skeptical, but this particular image has been linked to a real medical condition known as hypertrichosis. It causes excessive hair growth in areas where it normally would not appear. In rare instances, newborns can have unusually thick hair across the scalp, back, or limbs. Doctors who reviewed the images stated the baby was healthy. Sometimes this type of hair fades within the first months of life. In other cases, it remains. But the length and fullness seen here raises questions. Some believe the image is real, others believe it's been digitally altered. Would you believe your eyes if you saw this in person? This footage was captured in February 2022, far out in the ocean. What appears on screen is a pale, elongated figure gliding slowly through the dark water. Its shape is vaguely humanoid. A face and torso can be made out, but they do not resemble any non-marine animal. Since it surfaced, people have struggled to explain it. The closest comparison comes from Japanese folklore, the ninja. Legends describe the ninja as a massive human-like creature that dwells in the coldest, deepest parts of the ocean. Accounts vary, but it's always pale, smooth-skinned, and enormous, sometimes reaching lengths of 60 to 90 feet. Sightings are mostly reported by fishing crews and research vessels in Antarctic waters, though none have ever been confirmed. Some believe this footage captures a real ninja. Others suggest it could be a whale or another large marine animal seen from an unusual angle. And then there's the possibility that it's something entirely unknown, a deep-sea creature humanity has never catalogued. What do you see moving through the depths? Social media platforms have been quietly testing new features, often without most users noticing. TikTok began as a space for free expression, short videos, and fun. Over time, censorship crept in. Certain words and topics became off-limits. Algorithms started deciding what you saw and what you did not. Instagram followed a similar path. It started with pictures, then added location tagging. Now TikTok has introduced the local feed, showing content from people in your geographic area. On the surface, it sounds harmless, even useful for connecting with your community. But how does it know where you are? It collects data, tracking your location in real time. Every post you make broadcasts where you are, when you are there, and potentially when you're not home. Some see this as convenient, others see it as a privacy line that's been crossed. Comment sections are filled with people saying they've deleted the app entirely. The mix of censorship, surveillance, and algorithmic control makes the platform feel less like a social space and more like a watchman. For now, they'll prompt you to accept the feature or not, but we all know how these things usually play out. Okay, now we got an insect that looks like a leaf. Now we know these things exist. Animals have an incredible way of protecting themselves using biological technology, I think is probably the greatest word. I mean, stick insects, there are bugs out there that look like leaves, but personally, I think this was AI. Because you don't see any legs, you don't see any sign of this being anything other than a leaf. Then all of a sudden, little legs appear and all sorts of stuff starts to happen. There are insects out there that look exactly like leaves, but I don't think this is one of them. In Japanese culture, there's an urban legend about the slit-mouthed woman, Kuchisaki Onna. These women are said to roam the streets wearing masks to hide the grotesque slit mouths they have underneath. In this particular video, a man and a woman are behind the camera hiding behind a car. They're filming this strange woman wearing a mask and standing in front of a house. She's looking down at the ground and appears to be talking to herself. There's something off about her, but the moment gets even creepier when she notices them. Without warning, the woman charges at them aggressively, her movements fast and unnatural. They panicked and immediately ran to get away from her, with the camera shaking as they fled the scene. What do you make of this? Could it be a prank, or is this an actual encounter with the infamous slit-mouthed woman? Children are very playful and imaginative, often having the wildest of imaginations. However, it's also believed that they are more attuned to the spiritual realm because of their innocence, making them more likely to see things that adults cannot.
Oh my God!
What's the matter?
I just want to sleep with you now.
A mother placed a camera in her daughter's room after the girl started waking up in the middle of the night, screaming that an evil man was watching her. What she captured during one of those nights is chilling. By the bed was a strange-looking face, staring right at the girl. In another footage, the woman heard strange noises coming from her daughter's room. But when she checked, there was no one there. This indicates that the child was not just seeing things, but the question remains, what could this entity be, and why is it targeting the little girl? Speaking of strange and unexplainable phenomena, take a look at this one. So, a group of explorers allegedly came across this previously uncontacted tribe deep in the woods. The tribe was naturally careful of their strange and uninvited visitors. They looked at them with confusion and tried to scare them off. Despite their best efforts, these individuals stayed and recorded them. Now, we're not told where this took place, but it's supposed to be deep within the woods. The first time I saw this, I was genuinely afraid for the explorers, because uncontacted tribes don't mess around. They could definitely kill you if they thought you were a threat. These guys, however, were way too understanding and did not harm the explorers despite being provoked. That's when I noticed it. Although this was supposed to be out in the deep woods, there appeared to be a tarred road in one of the shots. If this was an uncontacted tribe deep in the woods, then it's unlikely that there would be tarred roads anywhere near them. This does bring credibility to the whole clip into question. What do you guys think? Take a look at what someone found right outside their house on the lawn. The footage shows glowing balls of light hovering slightly above the grass, moving about in an almost deliberate manner. It was late at night, and the area was completely still. No people, no noise, just these strange luminous orbs drifting in the air. As the person zooms in, the footage becomes a bit blurry, but one thing is clear. These aren't fireflies. The glow is too surreal, too large, and far too unusual to be mistaken for any typical insect. We've all heard the associations glowing orbs often bring to mind these days. Aliens. Could this be more evidence of extraterrestrial presence, or is there a natural explanation that we're missing? What do you think? A man caught a fish and decided to take a closer look at it. As he held the fish and pried its mouth wide open, something unexpected happened. Out came several smaller fish and even some stones. The fish had swallowed all these things, an odd combination of prey and debris. It's not every day you see a fish hoarding such a mix of items in its belly. So I've got a bonus question for you all today. What could this fish be? If you know it, it's time to claim your bragging rights in the comments section and educate us all. We'll be looking out for the genius who answers this one. All the best.
Whoa, look at those guys. What in the f***? Oh my god. Holy shit, dude. Oh my god.
A truck driver was on the road one late night when he noticed something strange in the sky. There were 3 orbs, 2 on top and 1 below, which were brighter and larger than the others. Out of nowhere, the lower orb vanished and reappeared beside the 2 at the top before disappearing completely. These orbs continue to fascinate people, and no one seems to know what they could be. Some speculate that these orbs might be extraterrestrial in nature, perhaps advanced drones or even UFOs observing the Earth. Others believe they could be a secret military technology or natural phenomena we have yet to understand. What's really intriguing is how the orbs moved, suddenly disappearing and reappearing in different spots. This has led some to wonder if these orbs could be linked to some sort of portal activity or dimensional shift. Could it be that we're witnessing a glimpse of something from another world, or is there a more logical explanation? Let me know what you think in the comments.
Whoa, look at those guys. What in the f***? Oh my god. Holy shit, dude.
This man was filming himself as he walked through a farm minding his business. He assumed he was completely alone, but that could not be further from the truth. Out of nowhere, a small creature appeared behind him, following closely. The creature was walking on 2 legs, and when the man noticed it, he panicked and started to run. To his surprise, the tiny creature also picked up speed, chasing after him. The man's reaction is undeniably funny, adding a humorous twist to the situation, but it does beg the question, what was that small creature? It looked tiny, almost like something out of a fairy tale. Aaron thinks it could be a gnome or a leprechaun, but Julius believes the footage is fake. But what do you think, though? Was this a real encounter with a mythical creature, or just a cleverly staged video? Speaking of ghosts, here's a chilling piece of hospital footage that has everyone talking. A nurse was tending to a young boy who had just come out of surgery. While she wasn't physically in the room, she was monitoring him closely on a screen to ensure his recovery was going smoothly. That's when she noticed something strange. On the monitor, a shadowy figure of a little boy appeared, standing silently at the foot of the patient's bed. Thinking the boy had woken up and somehow gotten out of bed, the nurse immediately rushed to the ward to check. But when she arrived, the boy was still sound asleep, tucked securely in his bed. Alarmed, she returned to the monitoring station, and the shadowy figure was still there, standing in the same spot, unmoving. Hospitals are often said to have these ghostly encounters because of the death rate there. So, is this a ghostly visitor, perhaps connected to the young boy in some way?
Oi,
Wait, what is this called?
Department of Transportation, right past exit 6. We are at exit 8. There it is! Yes, baby! There's that evil eye! What's up now?
Stop yelling, please.
Oh my God! What's up now?
Stop yelling, please.
A couple set out on a peculiar mission to find a missing sculpture. This wasn't just any sculpture, it was an eerie statue of an owl originally placed in the town square to ward off evil spirits. However, it had mysteriously vanished. Their quest took an unexpected turn when they spotted the sculpture on the side of the road at the Department of Transportation. The woman, excited, was filming the entire discovery when the man was on the phone with someone equally thrilled about the find. His excitement bubbled over and he began yelling in the car out of sheer amazement. But then something unsettling happened. Out of nowhere, the AI voice from their car's system interrupted firmly, telling him to stop yelling. What? An AI that tells you to quieten down? How much control are we handing over to technology? Is this a harmless feature or a sign of a world where machines increasingly dictate our behavior? What do you think?
Wait, what is this called?
Department of Transportation, right past exit 6. We are at exit 8. There it is! Yes, baby! There's that evil eye! What's up now?
Stop yelling, please.
Oh my God! What's up now?
Stop yelling, please.
What you're looking at is footage of a celestial body taken by an amateur astronomer. In the video, there's an oddly shaped object floating across its surface. The astronomer described it as a gigantic object, but even he had no idea what it could be. Given the amateur status of the astronomer, it's possible that this could be a natural phenomenon, a man-made object, or even an optical illusion. However, the size and shape of the object raises intriguing questions. Could it be a piece of space debris, a shadow cast by a lunar feature, or something entirely different? I guess we'll never know. Back in 1974, a family named Betts stumbled upon a mysterious metal ball on their property. Intrigued, they took it home, but soon began to notice strange occurrences. The ball seemed to have a life of its own. It could move on its own and would even follow the family members when they walked by it. It also produced odd sounds that no one could quite explain. This bizarre object quickly gained attention and was dubbed the Betts Sphere. The phenomenon caught the interest of the U.S. Navy, and various scientists conducted tests to determine its original purpose, but nothing conclusive was ever discovered. This lack of explanation has fueled speculation that the sphere might be some form of alien technology. As time passed, the news about the Betts Sphere gradually faded, and today its whereabouts remain unknown. The mystery of the Betts Sphere continues to intrigue those who hear about its story. Could it have really been an extraterrestrial artifact, or was it simply a product of human imagination?
So y'all look, I promise I believe that me and my kids jumped a timeline, because look, y'all, I know y'all wondering why I'm laying in a hospital bed wearing a snake brace, right? So look.
A female artist known on TikTok as Big as Diamond shared an extraordinary story that has left her followers intrigued and unsettled. According to her, she believes she may have gone through some sort of portal which resulted in a car accident and left her in a hospital bed with a neck brace. It all began when she made a routine trip to Walmart and was driving home with the kids in the car. Retracing the same route she always took, she briefly glanced at her phone. When she looked back up, something was off. She was no longer on her usual path. The surroundings were unfamiliar, and even the children begged to ask where they were. Confused, she checked her GPS, which oddly indicated that their home was now 30 minutes away. In a disoriented state, she made a U-turn and came to a stop to make a left turn. Then, out of nowhere, another car slammed into the back of hers. What's peculiar is that both she and the other driver claim they didn't see each other before the collision. According to Bigger's Diamond, it was as if she appeared out of thin air. Now she's grappling with the possibility that she might have time jumped or passed through a portal into another dimension. What do you think?
I came through a portal or something. Either I came through a portal or they came through the portal behind me and didn't realize because they did not even see me until they actually impacted my car, y'all. And I was sitting there when they slammed in the back of my car, y'all. I promise y'all. So
yo, look, it's not even moving. There's a ghost in there, St. Paul's Hospital.
Next, we've got this clip from St. Paul's Hospital. This clip was recorded by a man who'd noticed something strange from afar. Unsure of what it was, he took out his phone, just in case something interesting happened. After a few seconds of watching the area, it became evident that not all was well. The individual filming got a tad curious and asked locals what was wrong or who or what the individual in the window might be, and he was told to stay away. That's an unusual response, but it turns out those who lived there have come to accept that whatever he was looking at was a ghost due to the air of mystery around its appearance at night at the same spot. Interesting, huh?
Not yet, anyway. Yo, look, it's not even moving. There's a ghost in there, St. Paul's Hospital.
These days, there are a lot of sights in the sky which more often than not don't add up. From orbs to light formations that resemble saucers to shape-shifting objects, the skies seem to be filled with mysteries. Someone recently shared this intriguing footage of a strange light up in the sky moving at a questionable speed. The footage shows a bright, distinct light moving across the sky in a manner that defies the usual patterns of conventional aircraft. Its speed and the way it maneuvers suggest it could be something extraordinary. This object is obviously not the everyday plane you and I use. It looks more like a spacecraft of some sort. Having seen it, what do you think? Could this be advanced human tech that's being kept from the public eye, or are we witnessing something from another world? Share your thoughts in the comments section. This definitely doesn't look like anything you and I have encountered in our lives, does it? Well, I shouldn't speak for you because I've no idea what you've experienced, but this certainly is not normal. It looks like a humanoid creature with a mechanical makeup and wings attached. I know that's a mouthful, but it describes the exact thing we're dealing with right now. Once more, it appears to be moving its legs. The face shows no signs of life because, well, it doesn't look like skin or flesh. Naturally, I showed this to my team, and a number of them thought it might be a toy. Aaron, on the other hand, thought it might be a living creature from a plane that's not ours. For those who don't know Aaron, he's our conspiracy theorist, and he sees some conspiracy here. Our science whiz Julius, however, thinks this was put out there by someone to mislead the paranormal community. What do you think, though? Could this thing be alive, or are we simply trying to find a story where there isn't one? Share your thoughts.
Oh, how cool. What? Oh my gosh.
Wow. Okay, that's awesome.
I can't believe that's a living thing.
Of the body looks different from the ladder.
So this is one of the weirdest and strangest things we're gonna see today, and you should be glad. I must say that the first time I saw it, it made my skin crawl, but after getting through those first few minutes, I started to admire their beauty. This might be a siphonophore, and those who are unfamiliar with the term, it refers to a fascinating colonial marine organism belonging to the phylum Cnidaria, which also includes jellyfish and coral. Despite looking like a single creature, a siphonophore is actually a collection of specialized interconnected zooids that function together as one entity. Each zooid plays a specific role, such as feeding, reproduction, or movement, and they cannot survive independently. Found in the deep sea, these creatures are marvels of biological cooperation and adaptation. I haven't seen these types before, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Anyone with any info on this, let us know in the comments section.
Oh, how cool. What? I mean, oh my gosh.
Wow. Okay, that's awesome.
I can't believe that's a living thing.
Of the body looks different from the ladder.
A man woke up in the middle of the night and gets some water when he heard the dogs in the area barking and howling incessantly. Curious and slightly alarmed, he looked out of his window to see what might be causing the commotion. That's when he noticed something unusual. There was a dark figure standing eerily still among the bushes in the middle of the neighborhood. The man, who was filming from the vantage point of a story building, had a clear view of the area and the mysterious figure. It stood motionless. What could this figure be? Was it just a trick of the light, a passerby, or perhaps something more enigmatic that stirred the dogs? Although technology has made incredible strides in recent years, there has always been groundbreaking and innovative ideas that paved the way for today's advancements. Take, for example, this alleged clip of the Toyota Townhouse concept car designed in 1991. This forward-thinking design envisioned a future where cars were not just vehicles but integrated living spaces. The Toyota Townhouse was allegedly more than just a car. It was a mobile home equipped with various features that made it possible to live comfortably while on the move. The design included a spacious interior that could be reconfigured for different purposes such as sleeping, working, or relaxing. It even supposedly had amenities that would rival those of a small apartment. This concept was a bold step towards imagining how vehicles could be more than just a means of transportation. It showed the potential for cars to become versatile living spaces, reflecting a lifestyle of mobility and flexibility that's increasingly relevant today. After coming across this, I found it a refreshing look into the past, but try as I may, I couldn't find a lot of sources with info on this car. If you were much older in the 90s, can you confirm if you saw this or not? Stepping away from the mechanical wonder, we've got another being that's left us a tad conflicted. That's not normal, right? That's a human being moving on all fours in a manner that's definitely a bit weird. Beyond that, he's barely had any clothes on and appears to be slender, much more slender than you would expect a normal man to be. A closer look and you'll realize that his ankles are bent in a way you would expect an animal to be. The owner of the CCTV cams saw this and alerted the neighbors. One of them reported that their home had been broken into, and the cams confirmed it was this person or creature. The question now is, who or what do you think this person is, and why is it roaming the neighborhood? The truth is, no one knows. Some think it may be a skinwalker, while others think the whole thing might be a hoax. Which of these schools of thought do you subscribe to?
¿Dónde estás? ¿Necesitas ayuda?
This clip is chilling for a number of reasons. It was recorded by a man who was walking home one evening until his path was interrupted by an unusual rain followed by a woman crying in the distance. I mean, he could hear the woman cry but didn't see her. Also, the rain only appeared at that spot. Scared and a bit intrigued, he started to record, but for a few seconds until he realized it was not safe standing there. The big question on his mind was, just what had he encountered? To answer that, we visit the epic tale of La Llorona, as she's the only one who can fit into this situation. If you're new here and don't know who she is, La Llorona is a legendary figure in Latin American folklore, often depicted as the ghost of a woman who wanders near rivers crying for her lost children. The story tells of a woman, Maria, who drowned her children in a fit of rage or despair after being abandoned by her lover, only to realize her mistake too late. Condemned to search them forever, her weeping and wailing echo through the night. La Llorona serves as a cautionary tale, warning children to stay away from dangerous waters and reminding adults of the consequences of reckless decisions. Her story varies by region, but she is universally recognized as a tragic, haunting figure. The water, the weeping, and the strange, eerie feel simply fit her modus operandi, if I can even call it that. Either way, my team is convinced it's got to be her. What say you?
¿Dónde estás? ¿Necesitas ayuda?
Take a look at this fascinating creature. It almost looks like an invisible eel. This unique organism is called a leptocephalus, and it's actually the larvae stage of an eel. Leptocephali are transparent and flat, making them look otherworldly as they glide through the water. Their almost see-through bodies are an adaptation for survival, helping them avoid predators in their ocean habitat. Despite their ghostly appearance, these larvae eventually grow into familiar eels that live in both freshwater and saltwater environments. Isn't it incredible how nature creates such bizarre and fascinating forms? What do you think of this invisible eel? Have you seen anything like this? Sure, we post strange things all the time, but we hardly have a human standing right next to one of these strange things. We're not sure what he's doing, but he seems to be communicating with that strange thing or object. Many who saw the original post were convinced this was a jinn. Someone even translated what the guy was saying, and it went like this. Look, I tried to high-five him, and he just stands there and leaves me hanging. Now, this is one of those situations I would love to hear your take on what we are seeing. Some are convinced that it's not real and these guys set it up to go viral. Others are convinced it's very real. Where do you stand among these opinions? Next up, we got a clip from West Virginia. Take a look. What comes to mind when you see this creature? The online platform I saw this on had answers like a large owl and a wooden sculpture. But take a good look. Doesn't something else come to mind? Say something that's big and got ginormous feet. If you thought Bigfoot, then you thought right. The creature appears to be ape-like with humanoid features. What's more, it appears that it's doing its best to avoid moving a lot. Perhaps it thinks having this freeze response will prevent it from being spotted, but its eyes betray it. I'm tempted to believe this is a juvenile Bigfoot, if it's really one at all. If it's a juvenile, it would explain its size and behavior, but what do you guys think? Next, let's take a look at this haunting footage shared by three sisters. They had visited an amusement park and decided to go on one of the rides together. The three of them sat side by side on the bench seat, ready for the thrill. As the ride took off, one of the sisters was filming their experience. The video captures the laughter and screams as they smiled and enjoyed the ride, having a great time. But when they got home and reviewed the footage, something chilling caught their attention. In the video, they noticed a fourth figure sitting on the bench with them. It was a pale face with messy hair covering much of it, wearing a white shirt. This ghostly figure was staring directly at the camera and its movements jerking in sync with the ride. The strange part is none of the sisters had seen or felt anything unusual while on the ride. They were certain the seat had been empty except for the three of them, so who or what was the ghostly girl that appeared in their footage? It's always wise to stay vigilant and aware of your surroundings, especially in situations that can turn unsettling quickly. Take the story of Tiana and Amber, for instance.
Hi. Oh my god, Tiana, go! Go! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
One night they were out in Melbourne grabbing a bite at McDonald's. Tiana was at the wheel while Amber was in the back seat with her dog. What happened next was like something out of a horror movie. Suddenly, Tiana locks the doors and rolls up the windows. Amber is confused at first, but then she sees it too, a pale-faced woman with dark, haunting eyes approaching the car. There was something deeply unsettling and almost inhuman about her appearance. She tried to get into the car, and her intention seemed anything but friendly. Both girls were terrified, and even Amber's dog started growling at the eerie figure. Amber shouted for Tiana to drive, and within seconds they sped away. When they shared the video of their encounter, it quickly caught people's attention. Comments poured in, with many claiming to have seen the same woman attempting to break into the home. Despite numerous sightings, no one seemed to know who or what she was. Some speculated she could be a zombie, while others argued she might be a skinwalker. Personally, I have my reservations, but what do you think?
Oh, Tiana, go! Go! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
A few years ago, if anyone told me they felt something was off about a cloud in the sky, I would laugh and call them crazy. In today's world, however, I can't do that. Take a look at this clip for instance. What do you see? The footage starts off with an abnormally gray cloud compared to the ones around it, moving toward the left side of the frame. After moving for a few seconds, it disappears. It just fades out. The last time I checked, clouds aren't meant to do that, which leaves us with a lot of questions. The main question among the many is, what just happened? I wish I had answers, but I don't. Currently, we can only speculate, and the one thing on top of the list of speculations is alien technology. I know this is a subject that gets a lot of controversy surrounding it, but how else would you explain what you're seeing? Many believe that there's a spaceship there pretending to be a cloud. It moves slowly and then cloaks itself. Some thought that was far-fetched and stated that this might be nothing more than an iridescent cloud, but I double-checked, and an iridescent cloud is a type of cloud that displays a range of bright colors similar to those seen on a soap bubble or oil slick. This phenomenon occurs due to the diffraction of sunlight or moonlight as it passes through tiny water droplets or ice crystals in the cloud. The light is scattered into various colors, creating a rainbow-like appearance. You and I can see that that's not what's happening here. So what's your hypothesis? A man was out hiking in the mountains of Utah when he spotted something unusual at the foot of a mountain. It was a thick, dark figure that seemed out of place. At first, he was skeptical and didn't want to jump to conclusions, so he decided to do a comparison. He went back to the same location with a 6-foot-tall, 200-pound person and filmed them in the exact spot where he'd seen the figure. When comparing the footage side by side, the difference is striking. On the left, the original footage shows what appears to be a Bigfoot, much thicker and significantly taller than the human in the footage on the right. The comparison is uncanny and raises the question, did this hiker capture evidence of a Bigfoot in the Utah mountains? An image taken on Mars back in 2001 has resurfaced, and it's causing quite a stir. It's this square-shaped structure on the surface of Mars. The shape was spotted after zooming in on an image of the planet, and it was found inside a crater. The reason for all the excitement is that many believe perfect geometric shapes like this can't occur naturally, especially with how straight the lines are. The sides of the square are said to measure about 3 kilometers. This has led to speculation that this isn't a natural formation and could have been made by aliens. However, for those who don't know, perfect geometric shapes do exist in nature. For example, there's something called cube pyrite, which forms naturally into perfect cubes. Far be it from me, however, to stop anyone from believing in what could be. So what do you also think? Is this a sign of extraterrestrial activity or just a fascinating natural phenomenon? Everyone wants to smell good, so most people rely on deodorants to stay fresh. But have you ever considered how unhealthy some of these deodorants might be? Most commercial deodorants contain chemicals that seep into our bodies through the skin. These chemicals have been linked to hormonal imbalances, Alzheimer's disease, and even breast cancer, especially in women, since the armpits are so close to the breast tissue. So what's the alternative? We can't just walk around with body odor, right? Interestingly, body odor is a natural pheromone, and while other animals recognize and respond to their own pheromones, humans tend to mask theirs with artificial scents. Maybe it's time to explore healthier alternatives like natural deodorants, essential oils, or even diet-based solutions that help regulate body odor without exposing us to harmful chemicals. What do you think? Would you switch to a natural alternative if it meant avoiding health risks? Is such an alternative even possible? I can't see you, but I bet there are some of you that roll your eyes anytime I mention glitches and simulations, but how would you guys explain this? Tell me you see it. The clip looks like it was taken at a garage or dealership. At first glance, I didn't notice what was wrong with the clip until I took a second look and realized that it was raining on just one car. Can you see it? Now tell me that's not a glitch. Tell me that's not abnormal. I know what some of you will say, localized rain, but come on, that affects an area larger than just one vehicle. Well, that's what I thought until I did some research. It turns out it's possible, though rare, for it to rain on just one car. This could happen due to a highly localized weather event, such as a tiny convective cloud releasing rain over a very small area, or a passing shower coinciding with the car's location. Additionally, obstacles like tall buildings or trees could deflect rain, making it seem like only one car is getting wet while others nearby remain dry. Such occurrences are unusual and typically short-lived, but they can happen under the right conditions. I still don't think it's normal, though. I believe this has got to be a glitch, and we found a way to explain it away. What say you guys? Now moving back to the topic of aliens. Have you wondered why there's been no official word on them? I mean, if they're out there, why won't they talk to us? Well, there are 3 major theories, and you won't like the third. The first theory is what many call the Great Silence Theory. This theory suggests that aliens are so advanced that we're merely an insignificant bit of the cosmos to them. In other words, they're just not interested in us. The next theory is the zoo theory, which states that aliens are interested in us, just not interested in directly dealing with us, so they watch us as we go to the zoo and watch animals. The final theory, and most disturbing, is that we are living in a simulation. The aliens in this situation will be our creators who are merely interested in seeing how things are going with the simulations. Think of a child playing a video game with the video game characters thinking they're real. With advancements in AI, this shouldn't sound too absurd, right? Anyway, tell me which of these you think is the most likely situation. A man found this strange, dried-up thing sticking out of a tree. Curious, he used an old bottle to scoop it off the bark, and when he looked inside, this thing looked like a fish, but it was still alive. How was a fish stuck inside a tree, dried up, and somehow still moving? I couldn't wrap my head around it until I saw this comment. Apparently, the tree was once underwater, and at some point, a fish got trapped inside. Over the years, the water dried up, leaving the fish embedded in the tree. But how does a fish survive for years like that? Seriously, is this even possible? Can someone explain this? This grandmother was hanging out with her granddaughter in the living room when something strange happened. The little girl pointed at something in the dining room that was out of the camera's view. When the grandmother asked her what she was looking at, the toddler said she was pointing at the dining room. The grandmother told her to take her hand and show her, but the little girl was too scared to go there. So the grandmother walked over and scolded this invisible presence in their dining room. When the family saw the footage, they were all scared. At first, they thought the little girl was just playing with an imaginary friend. But according to the family, the situation was getting worse by the day. It wasn't as innocent or cute as we often see with imaginary friends. In the footage, you can see that the little girl is genuinely terrified of whatever she's seeing. We don't see anything out of the ordinary in the clip, but do you think the child is really seeing things, or it's just an overactive imagination at work?
What? Who's coming?
Him coming.
Who?
Him.
You see somebody back there?
Him.
Who?
Him.
Him?
Yeah.
Where's he at? Is he in our house?
Yeah.
Where? Show me.
While you think about that, we take to the skies for our next clip. What do you think is going on here? It's not every day you see a light source in the sky during broad daylight. That's not the sun, is it? This made the one who uploaded the clip believe that what he was looking at was nothing more than a portal. I know some of you may be tempted to laugh at that assertion, but we've had some very convincing clips on this channel that would suggest that believing that portals exist isn't as crazy as many would make it out to be. This clip, however, is on the blurry and low quality side. As disappointing as that might be because it makes it hard to properly analyze this video, we must remind ourselves that not everyone has the money to afford a phone with a high-quality camera. So we're gonna have to go with our gut feeling on this one. What do you guys think? Could this truly be a portal, or is someone playing games with us? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section below. Some Bigfoot enthusiasts recently ventured out to a well-known Bigfoot hotspot called Sasquatch Canyon, hoping to uncover some evidence of the elusive creature, and they were not disappointed. In the sand along the water's edge, they discovered a massive track. This area has a history of similar findings, with various people reporting tracks in the same spot. The one they found this time was about 17 inches long and 8 inches wide. Interestingly, the tracks found in this location have varied in size, leading some to believe that a family of Bigfoot could be living there. Each discovery seems to add more weight to the idea that something big is roaming the area. Could this be definitive proof of Bigfoot's existence? What do you think? A subscriber sent in this bizarre and chilling video, and it's got people talking. They had been outside one night when they noticed a strange glowing craft in the sky. The object had this bright orange glow, like it was burning or pulsing with heat. It was round and flat, hovering silently. And at the back, there was something that looked almost like a flame or maybe a plasma trail. The moment you look at it, the first thought is UFO. It just hovered there for a bit, completely silent, then started to descend slowly behind some trees. So what do you think it is? A secret government craft, a drone, or could it be an actual unidentified flying object? Well, we may never know for sure, but the footage speaks for itself. And if that was just the beginning, what happened after it vanished behind the trees? Back in 1901, the legendary inventor Nikola Tesla created a curious device called the Tesla Spirit Radio. But what he claimed to experience while using it was very strange. When Tesla first tested the device, he reported picking up distorted and otherworldly noises that didn't sound like anything from Earth. He described what seemed like the voices of two or more entities speaking in a language he couldn't recognize. The transmissions were faint, eerie, and unsettling. Tesla speculated that the sounds might not be from this planet at all. He believed he could have been receiving signals from intelligent life far out in space, perhaps even aliens trying to communicate. And this wasn't some casual theory. Tesla openly spoke of his suspicion about the beings from other planets that were attempting to reach us through frequency and vibration. The device has become a thing of legend in fringe science and paranormal circles. Some believe that Tesla may have inadvertently built a receiver for more than just electromagnetic waves. Of course, there are skeptics. They argue that the sounds were nothing more than radio frequency interference or echoes from earthly transmissions bouncing around the atmosphere. But this happened over 100 years ago, before modern broadcasting was even widespread. So what was Tesla really hearing? A fisherman shared unusual footage that has left many people scratching their heads.
Does anyone know what this creature, and it's flaring up too. Look at the spines on it.
He had set a fish on a hook as bait, and when he pulled it back up from the sea, there was something bizarre stuck to it. It wasn't just the fish he was expecting. There was this strange smaller creature latched onto it. At first glance, it looked like a big caterpillar, but there's more to it than that. This creature was pinkish in color, smooth in texture, and had an unsettling number of legs and spikes along its body. It's definitely not something you see every day, especially not in the ocean. So what could this be? Some sort of deep-sea creature, or perhaps a species we haven't yet identified? Maybe it's an example of marine life adapting to ways we still don't fully understand. One thing's for sure, this find is both fascinating and a bit eerie, wouldn't you agree?
Does anyone know what this creature, and it's flaring up too. Look at the spines on it.
What is going on here? Someone shared this footage of this strange-looking cloud in the sky. It's vertical and red in color, and honestly it looks very scary if you ask me. There are natural cloud formations that can look like this, such as lenticular clouds or even clouds reflecting the colors of a sunset, but there's something about this that just doesn't feel natural. The way it stands out, almost like it's not even a cloud at all, gives off an eerie vibe. Could this be some rare atmospheric phenomenon, or is there something more mysterious at play? What do you think this could be? We've always been taught that the best way to fight fire is with water. It's the most basic, time-tested solution we've used for ages. But what if I told you that we might not need water anymore? A group of engineering students from George Mason University came up with a fascinating invention, something that doesn't involve hoses, water, or foam. Instead, they built a low-frequency sound speaker that can literally put out flames. And no, it's not for blasting music at a party. This thing was designed specifically to quench fire using sound. Here's how it works. Fire needs oxygen to keep burning, that's common knowledge. What these students figured out is that if you aim low-frequency sound waves at the base of a flame, it can actually push the oxygen away, disrupting the fire's fuel source and extinguishing it without any liquid or chemicals involved. They demonstrated it, and it worked. A small flame flickered and died out under the pressure of sound alone. No water, just clean, targeting sound waves doing the job. It's a brilliant concept, and it could be a game changer. Imagine using something like this in places where water is hard to get to, or in environments where traditional fire extinguishers could cause more damage, like in electronic labs or data centers. And if scaled up, maybe one day it could help even fight forest fires in a cleaner, more efficient way. Pretty smart, right? What is this man doing? He's climbing up a ladder towards a massive beehive that's attached to a huge rock, and what he does next is, well, honestly hard to believe. He reaches straight into the swarm of bees with his bare hands. The bees are everywhere, crawling all over his arms and falling around him like rain, but he doesn't flinch. He even scoops a handful of them into his mouth and tucks some inside his shirt. How the hell is this possible? You'd expect him to be covered in stings or running away in pain, but he looks completely at ease. No protective gear, no fear, just casually swimming through a sea of bees. It's based on the people and the setting. This looks like it could be somewhere in Asia, possibly rural India or Nepal, where honey hunters are known for harvesting wild honey from cliffside hives using traditional methods. These people have generations of experience, and some even build up resistance to stings, but still, this level of calm around bees is just next level. Would you ever dare to try this? And can someone explain why the bees aren't stinging him? This woman had a towel between her and a mirror. However, the mirror is still able to reflect her on the other side of the towel. It looks so strange and almost impossible at first glance. Some people say that mirrors are like portals, and this is a demonstration of why they think that. But do you know about the angle of reflection? This phenomenon can explain what's happening here. When light hits the mirror at a certain angle, it can bounce off and create a reflection even if there's an object partially blocking its view. It's all about how light travels and interacts with surfaces. So there's no portal but rather physics. And no, Julius didn't remind me this time. I reminded myself. Thank you.
I'm blocked. How does the mirror know?
Have you ever gotten into a hotel and felt like they had security so you were safe? Well, take a look at this video. A man heard a strange noise at his door and went to check, and what he found was chilling. There was a zip tie with a rope attached, slowly moving upward, hooking onto the door handle. The moment he shouted, it stopped. He quickly opened the door, and at the end of the hallway, a man was seen sprinting away. But here's where it gets even creepier. When he checked the back of his door, he found a magnet. The magnet was being used to control the zip tie from outside. Had he not spoken up, the intruder might have gotten inside. This is a serious reminder to stay vigilant and always lock your doors. Humans can be just as scary and dangerous as ghosts or cryptids, maybe even worse. Stay safe out there.
Hello? Hello? Wait!
A crew out on a casual cruise off the coast of Massachusetts recently shared a video that's stirring up some serious buzz online. In the footage, just beneath the surface of the water, this massive fish is gliding through the waves, and I mean massive. Some folks jump straight to the wildest theory, saying it's a megalodon. Yeah, the prehistoric sea monster. But let's pump the brakes for that just for a second. While the creature in the video is undeniably big enough to give anyone chills, it doesn't quite fit the scale of a megalodon. Those things were huge, like bust-sized predators. This fish, yeah, it's large, no doubt, but it's not prehistoric beast levels of massive. If you take a closer look at the dorsal fin and the body shape, it looks a lot more like a tiger shark, and a pretty hefty one at that. Tiger sharks are known for their size and distinctive stripes, and this one seems to check both boxes. Still, it's an impressive sight, and it's easy to see why people got carried away, so no, it's probably not a megalodon. But it's still a reminder that the ocean's full of giants, and we barely scratched the surface of what's swimming below.
Holy
A woman noticed a dog barking like crazy near the shed behind her house. That in itself wasn't too strange, but the shed was supposed to be locked with a keypad lock that's not easy to tamper with, but there it was, open wide. The dog kept barking at the shed door, completely on edge, and as they got closer, it suddenly jumped back, startled like something had scared it off. The woman was so shaken she didn't go closer to look. But what's even creepier is that we never found out what happened next. She didn't close the door to see what was behind, so now we're all curious. Could it have been a ghost, some kind of paranormal entity, or was it an intruder hiding out, or worse, someone messing with her on purpose?
There's like... What? Why did you just jump like that?
A drone pilot was out in the countryside just hoping to capture some peaceful footage of the open fields and greenery. But what he saw next was anything but peaceful. As his drone soared over the landscape, it suddenly passed over a group of people gathered below. At first, nothing seemed out of ordinary until he took a closer look. There were actually 3 people in black robes with white masks. They were standing in a circle, holding a strange object in the center. As the drone got closer, they dropped the object, raised their hands, and simultaneously bowed. They repeated this motion, bowing and lifting their arms until they noticed the drone and stared directly at it. Then, strangely, one of them made a hand motion and the drone began to move backwards. According to the drone pilot, he lost control of the device as soon as the person did that. These people look extremely suspicious, like some sort of cult. But skeptics think this might just be staged. What do you think? Is this evidence of something supernatural or ritualistic, or is it just an elaborate hoax? Almost everyone with a smartphone these days prefers AirPods over wired earphones, and they can all give you 1,000 reasons why, but maybe it's time to rethink that. And here's why. Take a listen. AirPods use radiation to connect both earpieces through our brains. That alone is wild. We already know how dangerous radiation can be for the human body, but the real concern is children and teenagers who are even more vulnerable since their bodies absorb radiation more easily. And it gets even crazier. These devices can track biosignals like brainwaves, heart function, and more. That means they could potentially monitor brain activity without us even knowing. Meanwhile, this technology is already available for anyone to use. If misused, you know what kind of damage it could cause. So after hearing this, would you be putting your AirPods down now? Do you believe in hypnosis? Take a look at this. This man was casually walking around performing hypnosis on random people. At one point, he made a man forget his name, and the guy had absolutely no clue what it was. He was genuinely confused. Then another man came up, probably thinking it was a joke, but watch what happens next. The hypnotist makes him fall asleep almost instantly, then wakes him up and has him acting in ways that don't make sense, even making him freeze on the ground, paralyzed, unable to move or wake up. And then he made the man forget that he was ever hypnotized in the first place. By the end, the guy was baffled. You could see he was convinced. Now, as fascinating as all of this is, not everyone's convinced. Some say it's all staged and that the people he hypnotizes are just part of the act, maybe actors. But others believe hypnosis is real and that they've experienced it firsthand. So what do you think? Is this guy legit or is it just a well-rehearsed performance? And hey, if you've ever been hypnotized before, drop your story in the comments. We'd love to hear it.
Prove that that's not fake to me. Sleep deep, all the way down deeper and deeper. I got you, all the way down deeper. We're doing hypnosis. He's completely fine. Watch this. Wake up, 1, 2, wide awake. Are you consenting to this? You go sleep deep, all the way down deeper and deeper and deeper. All the way down, deeper and deeper. You will not be able to get up off the ground. As I say, 1, 2, wide awake, those magnets are active. What's going on? Try to get up. Get up! Move, man, try to get up. Open your eyes, able to move. 1, 2, wide awake. Here, stand up for me.
A lot of people love camping in the woods, but sometimes that peaceful trip turns into one of the most chilling encounters you could imagine. Now, we weren't there, so all we can do is speculate. But here's what happened. This man decided to visit a haunted forest alone, and instead of just exploring during the day like most people would, he actually set up a tent and planned to spend the entire night there. As night fell, he built a fire and settled in, but that's when things started to get weird. He suddenly heard crying in the distance. He looked around, flashlight in hand, but saw nothing, so he brushed it off and sat back down. But then it got worse. There were footsteps, and his tent started shaking back and forth, but yet again, no one was in sight. He tried to review the footage he recorded using thermal imaging to spot anything unusual, but here's the thing. To actually see something on thermal, you need a real thermal camera. If it's just a filter placed over regular footage, you're not picking up anything useful. So what does that mean? Did he capture something real, or is it just another well-crafted hoax?
फिलहाल मैं यहाँ बैठा हूँ और भाई फिलहाल अभी तो उतना हट कोई जानवर था और यहाँ पे ऐसे कुछ आवाज फिलहाल कुछ भी नहीं आ रही.
This video was shared by a couple who had been experiencing strange encounters in their home. The bizarre thing about these strange activities and encounters is that they got worse when they had their first child, a beautiful baby girl. The clip on your screen is one of those terrifying moments. The family was in their yard, packing their van for a trip. Both parents were busy, and the toddler was wandering around when she fell. If you pay attention to the clip, you'll realize that it looks like an unseen force seems to have aggressively pulled the child to the ground. The parents immediately turn and rush out to check on her. Let's take a closer look at it again. The family is there, and then, out of nowhere, something pushes the toddler down. The video ends there, but given how hard she fell, it could have easily caused bruises and even broken bones. The couple has no idea what's going on. It's as if the entity or whatever it is lurking in the house is targeting their child, but they can't seem to figure out what it is or why it's happening. Some feel it's a ghost, whereas others think it might be a grumpy spirit in the home that has a thing against families and children. Personally, I'm not sure what to make of this one, so what are your thoughts? This clip was recorded by a woman whose nap was interrupted when she heard drawers in her room opening and slamming shut by themselves. She opened her eyes only to see something terrifying. Look at them closely. There's no sign of wires, strings, or any kind of manipulation. It seems like something unseen is doing this. The woman believes it's an evil entity targeting her and a family, and it keeps bothering her, possibly to scare her. Now, there are entities said to be relatively harmless. They feed on fear and will do anything to keep us frightened. She's saying this was caused by one of them, but what do you think? Is she telling the truth, or is she pranking us all for her 5 minutes of fame? Now, what is even going on here? Someone shared this very strange piece of footage, and it's honestly got people scratching their heads. In the clip, there's nothing special at first, just a power cable plugged into a wall socket. But then you notice that the shadow of the cable has a knot in it, while the actual cable doesn't. How is that even possible? We're talking about an inanimate object here, a cable. It has no soul, no life, so why would its shadow show something that isn't there? Some viewers are convinced this is edited footage, and honestly, that's the easiest explanation. But if it's not, if this is raw, untouched footage, then what are we looking at? Could this be a glitch in the Matrix? Because think about it. Shadows are supposed to mirror reality. They don't lie, so what does it mean when the shadow is doing something the real object isn't?
Sombra, mas cadê o nó aqui? Não, gente. Não. Como sei?
Lately, the weather has not been normal, and it's starting to become a serious problem for farmers. Across several regions, farmers are raising concerns. Some even believe that the weather is being manipulated intentionally, possibly by governments or larger corporations trying to disrupt local farmers and take control of the food supply. It might sound like a conspiracy to some, but what one farmer recently discovered has people questioning everything. He shared this heartbreaking video. It went out one morning only to find that his entire farm was buried under 2 feet of solid ice pellets. A hailstorm had hit the night before, and it wasn't just a light sprinkle. The hailstones had fallen relentlessly, leaving behind a 2-foot layer of hail on the ground. Was this just a cruel act of nature or something more? With more and more farmers reporting targeted weather anomalies, from sudden floods to scorching droughts in isolated zones, it's hard not to question if something bigger is happening behind the scenes. Is someone playing with the climate, trying to push out small-scale farmers and gain control over agriculture? What do you think?
This is not dirt, this is ice. Hail.
How much do you believe in coincidences? And before you say not at all, wait until you see this footage that has the internet in a frenzy. A group of friends traveling in the back of a truck captured something truly bizarre. As they rode through town, they noticed a massive swarm of birds moving in an unusual formation above them. Curious, they zoomed in, and that's when things got eerie. The birds weren't just flying in a random pattern, they'd formed a face in the sky, and not just any face, it looked exactly like Vladimir Putin. Yeah, that Putin, the president of Russia. Naturally, theories are flying everywhere. Some argue the footage is AI generated, which is entirely possible in today's digital world. But conspiracy theorists have wilder takes. Some believe it's proof of a secret technology capable of controlling animals. Others see it as a sign, maybe even a warning about global events. And of course, there are those who insist it's just an insane coincidence. But seriously, how does something this precise happen by accident? What do you think? Coincidence, conspiracy, or something else entirely? A certain team member who shall not be named believe it's pareidolia. What you're looking at isn't a sinking ship. Well, technically it is, but this ship was built to sink. Let me explain. This is the RP Flip, a one-of-a-kind research vessel built in 1962. Unlike regular ships, the Flip, which stands for Floating Instrument Platform, was designed to flip vertically in the water. It normally floats like a regular boat, but when needed it tilts 90 degrees, leaving only a small portion above water. Why? Because this unique design allows scientists to study the ocean with minimal interference from surface waves. The Flip was used for oceanographic research, measuring things like wave heights, water temperance, acoustic signals, ocean density, and many more. Since it doesn't have an engine, it was usually towed into position before being flipped. And yes, people could actually live on this ship. The interior was specially designed so that when it flipped, everything from beds, sinks, and toilets remained functional in both horizontal and vertical positions, because there were two of each built and positioned to function even when it flipped. The Flip was retired in 2023, but in 2024 a new company purchased it and is now preparing to return it to the sea for more research. Sounds interesting, but would you ever board a ship that intentionally sinked? We've seen a lot of strange things happen in nature, and honestly at this point nothing should surprise us anymore. But even so, take a look at this. These clouds were recently photographed and they don't look natural at all. They seem almost too perfect. There is a series of bizarre, sharply edged cloud formations. It looks like someone took a giant ruler and sliced the clouds into straight geometric shapes. Another viewer captured from a plane reveals what looked like a rectangular platform, but is perfectly aligned with the sky. It's made entirely of clouds, or at least that's what we think. This doesn't feel like something nature would just casually do. Some say it's a rare atmospheric event, others think it looks man-made, maybe even a cloaked object or structure hiding in plain sight. But what do you think? Every now and then, a strange and extreme trend pops up, and no matter how bizarre it sounds, people jump right on it. A recent one, just to be the most unexpected yet, is called a coffee enema. Yeah, you heard that right. Instead of drinking coffee the usual way, people are now brewing it and then inserting it into their rectum through a tube. The idea behind it is to cleanse the body by flushing out toxins through the colon. Some claim it boosts energy, improves mood, and even clears the mind, but here's where it gets a little concerning. Coffee contains compounds that trigger dopamine and adrenaline release, the same feel-good chemicals we get from excitement or pleasure. When absorbed through the rectum, those chemicals hit faster and harder, causing some people to become addicted to the sensation. So now there's a growing group of people who say they can't start their day without it, not with a regular cup of coffee, but with a daily coffee enema. And as strange as it sounds, it's catching on in certain wellness circles, but at what point does a health hack become dangerous? And more importantly, who's really behind pushing trends like these? What an ass. This footage is definitely mind-boggling, but let's break it down. A man was parked at a fuel station in the middle of the night when he noticed a glowing orb descending toward the ground. Then, out of nowhere, several figures emerged from it and started walking hastily in a particular direction. Even stranger, one of them appeared to pull the orb down until it shrank and disappeared. Now, this has sparked wild theories. Some people say that they're time travelers using a portal device, while others insist it's proof of extraterrestrials. But if you ask me, this footage seems suspicious. There are plenty of AI-generated and edited videos floating around online, and this one has all the hallmarks of a well-made hoax. That's not to say portals or aliens don't exist, but this specific clip, yeah, well, I'm pretty skeptical. What do you think, though? Real, fake, or something in between? For most of the footage we see on this channel, we've come across humans with strange, unexplained abilities, but have you ever thought about dogs with strange abilities? Take a look at this security footage. It's someone's backyard with a pool and people walking around when something unbelievable happens. The dog just runs across the water to the other side of the pool. The pool doesn't look shallow and you can see the surface of the pool rippling as the dog runs. There's no way this is fake. Does this dog have super strength or some kind of supernatural ability? The people around didn't even seem to notice because they weren't paying attention, but this is absolutely fascinating. A dog running on water. Now, that's a new one, at least that's what I thought, until a certain person mentioned that there was a net keeping the dog afloat. It was disappointing to say the least, but hey, at least we know dogs aren't taking over the world. Have you seen what Martha Stewart looks like lately? Because, wow, this woman is 83 years old. Yeah, 83. And yet, if you take a look at her recent photographs, you'd be forgiven for thinking she was in her late 50s, maybe early 60s at most. Her skin is smooth and her face glows. It's as if she's discovered the fountain of youth and planted it right in her backyard. Now, on the surface, this might just sound like a joke. After all, she may have great skincare, she has the money and access to the best treatment, so sure, that's the logical explanation. But there's been a growing speculation. What if it's something else entirely? Some believe that Martha, along with other ageless celebrities, might be using something much darker. We're talking about adrenochrome. It's a word you've probably heard in conspiracy circles. The alleged substance that supposedly harvested under horrific conditions is rumored to keep the rich and powerful looking young forever. For years, there have been cryptic messages and strange jokes dropped by celebrities with odd reference to blood rituals, youth serums, and secret treatments. Most people dismiss it as internet nonsense, but what if it's not? Because when someone is 83, looks 50, and there's no known product on the market that can do this without surgery, you gotta think. Next up, we have a photograph that was meant to be nothing more than a sweet moment between a couple, just a man and a woman smiling for the camera, enjoying a peaceful moment together. But it's what's in the background that has everyone unnerved. Behind the man on the wall was a framed photograph. At first, nothing seemed unusual, but when you zoom in, something chilling appears in the reflection. There, just over his shoulder, is the pale, ghostly face of something or someone. Only half the face is visible, but it's unmistakably there. The skin is an unnatural shade of white, almost glowing with no emotion, just cold, empty eyes staring directly into the lens. The couple insists that no one else was in the room when the photograph was taken. They said that whatever that figure is, it was no part of the picture. They don't recognize the face, and they're certain it wasn't a reflection of anyone present. So then, what is it? Could it be a spirit attached to the photograph, or is it something tied to the house itself, watching from the walls? A man was walking through a hallway when he thought he saw something, so he stopped at a corner and started filming. At the far end of the hallway, there was just a wall with a picture frame hanging on it. When you look at the frame, you can see a dark shadow reflected in it. But there was no one else there. It could be a trick of the light or maybe even someone outside the camera's view, but then explain this. As he kept recording, a dark shadow suddenly appeared on the side of the wall. The shape was humanoid and it moved unnaturally. That's when the man freaked out and bolted out of there. Now the real question is the shadow in the frame connected to the one on the wall, or is there something even more disturbing happening here?
Look. Did you see it?
This woman got into an elevator and headed to the ground floor. As she rode down, the elevator passed the ground floor and kept going downward. As you can see, the woman looks very panicked. She tries to get help on her phone, but nothing works. Finally, the elevator stops and the doors open into a dark, unknown place. We can't see much since the camera is in the corner of the elevator, but the woman walks out slowly. As soon as she steps out, the elevator closes and goes back up, leaving her stranded in the darkness. Honestly, I don't know why the woman got off. The place looks so dark and eerie. I would have stayed inside. But then again, this could just be staged footage. But this footage reminds me of the odd legend. Have you heard of the 13th floor urban legend of elevators? It's said that some buildings have secret, inaccessible floors where hidden and unthinkable things happen, unknown to the people who come and go. Could this be the case in this footage, or do you think it's just a hoax? Back in the day, there were many plantation houses scattered across the South, grand estates with dark histories. Behind their elegance were stories of unthinkable cruelty, especially for the enslaved people who were forced to live and work on those lands. And many of these old houses still stand today, but recently, one of them didn't make it. A well-known plantation house burned down, completely engulfed in flames. It was a massive fire that drew the attention of locals and onlookers. And as they recorded videos and snapped photographs, something strange began to appear in the flames. Dark figures and entities appeared. Some said they saw silhouettes moving through the fire, others saw forms peeking out of the windows and doorways with faces and bodies that couldn't possibly belong to any living person. It didn't take long for the footage and images to go viral online. Some people say that these are the souls of enslaved people who had been trapped there for centuries, bound to the trauma of their past. And now, with the house destroyed, they're finally free. While a house burning down is never a good thing, there were those who felt a strange sense of justice for it. Like the fire didn't just destroy wood and brick, it cleansed something deeper and much darker. This is a giant robotic centipede. It was built by engineers at Georgia Tech. And no, it's not from a sci-fi movie. This strange-looking machine was designed to help in agriculture. It's equipped with advanced sensors that allow it to navigate around obstacles so it doesn't crash into rocks, trees, or equipment in the field. But that's not all. Thanks to its flexible, segmented body, it can crawl through swamps, muddy farmlands, and tight spaces with ease. Its movements mimic that of a real centipede, giving it incredible agility on rough terrain. Its main purpose is to remove weeds. Yep, this robotic bug was specifically built to identify and remove weeds from the ground without harming crops. This cuts down the need for harmful herbicides. It might look creepy to some, but it could very well be the future of farming. High-tech, sustainable, and just a little unsettling.
Olha lá, galera. Olha lá, aquela coisa lá, olha lá.
O chupa-cabra lá, ó lá. Ele lá na árvore lá olhando pra nós lá, ó lá.
This next footage was shared by two friends walking home through the woods in northern Mexico when they saw this. It was a pair of glowing eyes staring right back at them. The eyes peeked out from behind a tree, locking onto the friends. They stood there filming for a moment before running away as fast as they could. In the video, you can hear one of them say, "Chupacabra." The chupacabra is a well-known cryptid in Mexico folklore, so understandably, they suspected this creature was one. But when you look closely at the eyes, they seem almost human-like. However, the eyes were very low to the ground, so whatever it was must either be crouching or very small. I don't think a human would be out there in the dark creeping on people like that, but then again, humans can be pretty weird. Could this just be a nocturnal animal? What are your thoughts?
Olha lá, galera. Olha lá, aquela coisa lá, olha lá. O chupa-cabra lá, olha lá. Ele lá na árvore lá olhando pra nós lá, olha lá. Olha lá. Coisa é aquela, mano. Deixa eu dar um zoom aqui pra galera ver lá.
لا لا يا الحبيب لا 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 هد relax لا لا. What do we have here? It may look like a Pokemon, but it's actually not. It's just a bird. A white feathered bird with a bald neck. And as it turns its face toward the camera, it gives off a very eerie appearance. After digging around, I did confirm that this was actually an owl. But why does it look like this? Well, I'm not particularly sure, but the person who saw this bird thought it might be a witch who had shapeshifted into an owl. And looking at its appearance, I can't help but agree. Its unusual appearance makes it look almost scary. Owls are already known for their creepy looks, which is why many cultures and religions associate them with witches or evil beings, especially since they're nocturnal creatures. However, it seems more likely that this bird lost the feathers on its neck due to something like disease, injury, stress, or even molting. Yeah, some birds do shed their feathers depending on the season, like before spring or in autumn. But for this bird, we don't know for sure what's going on. What do you think happened to it? A witness from San Antonio, Texas, recently shared some strange and intriguing footage, and it's got people talking. According to their account, it was just a regular day. They were out running errands when something unusual caught their eye in the sky. At first, it looked like a glowing speck drifting down from above, but as they got a better look, it became clear that this wasn't just a flicker of light. This was an orb glowing softly with an orange hue that looked like it was surrounded by its own little aura. It descended slowly from the sky, almost gracefully, then started moving in deliberate, calculated directions. Not fast, not erratic, just smooth, intentional movement. Now, sure, you might think it could have been a bit of drifting flame or a piece of debris carried by the wind, but the witness was quick to point out that this wasn't that small. They estimated it was about the size of a pickleball. And most importantly, it wasn't just floating aimlessly. It didn't flicker out like a fireball. It didn't fall. That's the part that really gives you pause, because if it's not some random natural occurrence, then what the hell are we looking at here? This next video was one of the most chilling and mysterious ones we've come across in a while. It was captured at night somewhere remote, judging by the darkness and silence. The footage shows a group of people running through what looks like the middle of nowhere, and they're carrying something, or rather someone. Lying on the ground are two strange pale figures. They look humanoid, but not quite right. Their bodies are limp, stretched out across the dirt, and their skin is ghostly white from head to toe. One manages to hoist one of them over his shoulder, rushing off into the dark, while three others gather around the second body, struggling to lift it. Now, here's where things get weird. Some viewers believe these figures are actually humans covered in mud or clay, maybe unconscious or hurt, but others have a different theory. They think these might be skinwalkers or some kind of non-human entities based on how unnatural their bodies look. The footage has no context whatsoever. No one knows who filmed it, where it happened, or what happened after. So, what do you think is going on here? Still on drone pilots, this clip comes from one who was taking a bird's eye view of this castle when something unexpected happened. As the drone flew over the place, it captured something eerie. It was a faint white shadow shaped like a knight moving through the castle. Take a closer look, it's unmistakable. The pilot was shocked when he saw this, but given the castle's history and how long it's been standing, it's not entirely surprising. This is Berkeley Castle, built back in 1153. You can tell its age from the architecture and materials used. It's said to be one of the oldest inhabited castles in England. But it's also the place where King Edward II was killed. I'm sure he's not the only one to have died there. There are likely many spirits stuck there haunting the place. At least that's what many in the community think. What about you? What do you think? Next, we got a young man who was out with his mom in the snowy woods. It was a serene sight until they came across some rather unusual footprints. Once they started looking around, they saw a creature whom it might belong to in the distance. It wasn't just one, but two fur-covered figures moving effortlessly through the snow. From a distance, their forms were covered in brown fur from head to toe, and judging by their size, they had to be at least 7 feet tall or more. Skeptics are saying it's just people in costumes, but look at the way they move. There's something too natural about it. The way they stride through the deep snow without struggle seems almost inhuman. So what do you think? Just a hoax, or could this be real Bigfoot footage? But anyway, with that, we end today's episode. Now, the sun's out, it's shining. I've literally just serviced one of my motorcycles, so I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna ride, baby. Gonna ride. Find a nice place for coffee or something. But if you could do me a favor right now, if you've got any videos of any sort that you can send to us, we don't care if it's interesting, to do with biology, science fiction, fantasy, paranormal, whatever it happens to be. If you think we're interested in it, please send it to us, classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. I will say that again. classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. That's the email address to send it to. And if we like what we see, well, then we're going to mention you. Yeah, you. So please do that with us. Now I'm going to head off. So I'll see you guys next time. Steve out, baby. Mwah.